All right, let's go ahead with Jay Drew.
Hey, Keaton, you can always tell a lot about a team and kind of their resolve after the first loss of the season. How would you say, what was the vibe of the guys, the kind of the morale on the way home, and then as you kind of reconvened this morning?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously unfortunate and no one's happy about it, but I think we got a really tough team here. We've battled through a lot of adversity already early in the season. Again, although guys might have been a little bit more down, I think that's something Kalani even talked about in the locker room is, being tough is you be able to handle adversity. And I thought, while guys might have not been happy on the flight home, I thought guys were doing their best to kind of keep their resolve and stay tough. And this morning too, you got to move on and focus on the next week. You can't let one loss lead to multiple. You got to move on and put it into it and get a win the next week.
After watching the film, just anything kind of stand out to you from the Kansas game maybe that you could have done differently or that you thought worked really well?
Yeah, again, there's always things you can do differently. I could pick up a handful of plays and say I could have done this better and make a better read decision here. I think everyone could probably do that. But again, I think there were still a lot of good things, and I think we made progress in a lot of areas. And some areas we need to improve on a lot. Obviously, the run game's something we need to improve on, but that's beyond the O-line. As a perimeter, as a quarterback, I need to make better decisions in the RPOs. As running back unit, we know we can hit holes better at times, and it falls on all 11 of the guys. It's not just on one unit or one group in particular.
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, Kedon, day shorter in terms of preparation this week as you welcome in Cincinnati. What changes for you in terms of having just one less day?
Yeah, it just kind of expedites the whole process. I need to watch more film earlier in the week, especially yesterday. Need to get treatment and watch more film yesterday, whereas usually have more time throughout the week. But they're a day shorter too, and it's only one day. It's not like we're doing anything crazy here. So I think the biggest thing is just getting your body right. And getting your rehab in and getting your body physically prepared and mentally prepared too with a little bit less preparation time.
There's been some made with BYU fans about day games versus night games for you guys and your records and such. Do you have a preference on when games are played, or do you care?
I kind of joke, I would like to play under the lights at 2 p.m. That would be ideal. I hate waiting all day to play in the night games, but I do like playing at night, the atmosphere and under the lights. It's really fun. And it brings great energy. And same thing to the contrast. I like day games because you don't have to wait in the hotel all day, but I would like to play under the lights too. So there's kind of positives and negatives to each, but I know that, here, especially the atmosphere and stuff, it's great at night, and I know guys and the fans are really excited to play under the lights at LES.
Let's put you in a dome is what we got to do. Right?
Yeah, probably.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Sean, and then Mitch.
Yeah, Keaton, kind of turning the page and moving forward to Cincinnati a little bit. I know you probably haven't done a full deep dive study on them, but is there anything that kind of just jumps off the page at you watching them just casually, or the few clips that you have? And maybe I could posit one. They seem to have a really good defensive line in particular. They've got a lineman that they call the Godfather because his name's Dante Corleone. So maybe that's one. But is there anything else that kind of just jumps out about them?
Yeah, I think they're just they're really physical defense. I think that's the first thing that kind of sticks out to me. More odd structure than we've seen, I think, but also, again, their front three, really front seven, I guess, are pretty talented. On the back end too, their DBs do a good job of seeing concepts and understanding when to jump stuff and when not to, and when to stay in their zones. They run a lot of man. They're pretty aggressive too at times, but then they do good job disguising too at times. So they're a really good sound defense. Again, they got some good players on their defense, so it'll be a good challenge for us.
Eden, how big of a focus coming into this year was, the deep passing game for you, and through 4 weeks, your assessment of how that's going thus far?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been I think, focus of Coach Rod, and really been a part of our identity here before I even been a part of it. So it's definitely been called a lot in practice. We could still be better, but I think at times we've done a good job hitting the deep shots. I think especially, thinking after the pick six, answering with the big shot to Chase, that was huge. And we've been getting better at the go balls. And that's something that, I learned a lot from Jaron watching his tape last year. And, again, I think BYU's done a great job, as a whole. And we still be better. I think there's a lot of opportunities still left on the field. But it's definitely something that, we've been able to kind of rely on when we need to create a spark.
Let's go Kevin and then Jason.
Yeah, speaking of some deeper shots, and Keelan Marion, you've connected on him a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. But what do you think he needs to do, and just your perspective on his evolution in this offense, and maybe playing a bigger role with some injuries in the wide receiver room now?
Yeah, Keelan's a great player. He's really elite speed and great route runner. I think for him, just get more and more comfortable with understanding the offense as a whole. With the new guys, new receivers especially, it's always hard to kind of replicate that because it just takes time and reps and time studying the playbook and the call sheet. So he's done a great job. He's always asking me, for the call sheet and things he can do better. But again, it kind of takes time and repetition, and I think he'll help. He'll look to get better and better each week as we get throughout the season. And again, we're happy to have him.
Eden, playing in P5 games is obviously nothing, big for you. You've played in a lot of those. But with what BYU fans have wanted and waited for so long, what kind of atmosphere do you expect Friday night at Lavelle Edwards Stadium when fans finally get their opportunity to have that home game?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I know I've obviously been a part of it, but it's such a big deal to the guys who've been here for so long and the community and the fan base. I think been waiting for almost over a decade really for this opportunity as a fan base. And even after the game last week, so many fans at the game were saying, hey, looking forward to seeing you Friday night, can't wait for Friday night. And I think that's the exciting thing, is the optimism and also just the excitement to go play under the lights and first conference game, Big 12 game at home. I just feel personally a lot of excitement from the fans, and I think even seeing the first two non-conference games at home be so packed out and such a great atmosphere, I think I'm excited to see what a conference environment will look like.
Go ahead, Jay.
Eden, a lot's been made that you threw the ball 51 times. Obviously, you had to the other day. But what's the optimal for you and for this BYU offense? What is the optimal run-pass balance in your mind?
It's a good question. You probably have to ask A-Rod analytically where we want to be at. I'd probably guess it's somewhere between 60-40%. But I think for the most part, again, we were down a lot. Trying to get back in the game, that's going to factor a lot. And, so much of our offense, too, is predicated on the run game, setting up play action and screens and whatnot. So I think, once we get that going a little bit more, and we will, that's going to, you're going to see more balance, and then you're going to see, more explosive plays, too, as a result of it.
So 60 run, 40 pass. Is that?
I would say 60 pass, probably 40 run. I don't know, though. It depends on the team. It's hard to say week to week, but if I had to guess what A-Rod would say, I would guess that. But again, I'd probably just ask A-Rod what he thinks.
Hey, awesome. Thank you so much, Kedon. I think that's all the questions for today.
Yep, thank you, guys.